This guy was so committed, your kidneys fail,
Yes.
and you still travel with me.
Yes.
At the height of my ministry,
Yes.
I'm preaching like 288 times in 365 days. I'm changing cities every day.
Yes.
I'm moving from nation to nation. We're going from continent to continent. His kidneys fail. I tried to get him to stay home, okay? But the Elijah scenario exists. As the Lord liveth, I will not leave thee.
That's right.
So he is on the road with me, on the planes with me, traveling through the airports, running through baggage claims, running from gate to gate, and being dialyzed while we're asleep at night. He's getting dialysis and was never late.
I'll give you a great example. We would start out up in New York, maybe up in Connecticut. And I do dialysis I get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I do dialysis for 4 hours. 4 hours, come back and get to the hotel. I would change my clothes, and then we would go do interviews by 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning.
And never missed it.
And keep going.
Never late.
And from New York, we would go down to D.C. I do dialysis in D.C. And we do the same thing, just repeat what we've done in New York. And then we go from D.C. to Columbus, Ohio. And I do dialysis in Columbus. And let me tell you something. The grace of God was with me the whole time. This is what I said to God one time. I said to God, God, now I know you called me to do this. Now, I can't continue to do this at this pace and be sick like this. This is what God said to me. I got you. He said that to me. I never even questioned him ever again. I just kept doing what he called me to do.
To be honest with you, I almost didn't believe you was getting dialysis because you were so... See, one thing you have to understand about Holloway is so discreet. That's another thing. He is so discreet. He is so discreet with his business and mine. You will never find Holloway disclosing any information that you don't need to know.
Oh, no.
It's not going to happen. It was a need-to-know basis. He didn't even tell me I got to get up at 3 and get dialysis. I got to go to bed early. Nothing. It was almost like a lie, because I never saw you leave. I never saw you come. I never saw you half dressed. No, this is the truth. It's weird. You're a strange person. You know, I've never seen him not suited and booted and ready to do what had to be done when it had to be done. All the while he was being dialyzed while we were asleep, and still was controlling the schedules and the flights and the hotels and the cars picking up and setting up the schedule for dialysis and the cab to the dialysis and the cab back, and still showing up down when I came downstairs talking about the car, the right this way, sir. Get in the car. No, the first one up here. Move the bishop over here. Never complained, never whimpered, never cried, never gave up, never gave in. You're talking about standing in the shadow of greatness. You have to be great to stand in the shadow of greatness. You can't use weak lumber on a great house. You have to be great. It has to be greatness to greatness, man to man, tough to tough, strong to strong, or it don't work.
My God.
Most of the guys who come along who want to have the position want the glory,
right,
but not the responsibilities. They want to perk up and look good and walk out important, but they don't want to do the things that it takes. What was it in you?
Let me tell you something.
Man.
People have a misconception. An armor bearer is like a ghost. You see him, but you don't see him. And you don't have to say nothing. I mean, you ain't supposed to say nothing. All you're supposed to do is serve. That's what you're called to do, is just serve. You know, you didn't ask me for my opinion. When you asked me for it, I gave it to you. If you didn't need it, I didn't say nothing. I just did what was required of me to do.
There were many times along the way, though, that you said things to me that kept me alive. I remember after my mother died and we were flying to London and we were on the plane and we switched roles. You became the pastor and I was the deacon. And he was telling me, you work yourself to death. You don't stop any time. You don't take any vacations. You don't take any breaks. You don't do this. He just says, for 8 hours all the way over to London.
I sure did.
You know.
I sure did.
But he preserved me. He preserved me. He didn't just serve. You said serve. He served, but he also preserved and he also protected.
Yes.
See, in a lot of ways, the pastor covers the church, but the people who support the pastor also cover the pastor. They're the reciprocity of covering you.
Yes.
And good service is covering. It was one less thing I didn't have to worry about.